If it's made out of metal, we can fix it. We've done everything from your BMWs to Mercedes to Aston Martins to Bentleys to anything you can think of, we have fixed. We kind of catalog them with banners in our shop, which is a cool presentation when
I
people
like that.
come in. You really just have to be committed to being a professional in order to be successful in it. We do not sleep on leads. We attack them as soon as they come through the phone. Working with your hands is not easy. The paintless side of my business is a more niche service. I'm a master tech. What kind of separates one company or one tech from another is how serious they take being a professional.
Building with us today is a gentleman I found on Instagram. We both admired each other's businesses. I had my juice bar, and he has Paintless Dent Doctor. Now, I actually had a ding in my car, and so I don't know. The interwebs just found a way to bring me across your page. I didn't get an ad or anything, but I found him organically and just continue to follow him, watch his business grow, see all the fly cars on his page, and I really appreciate it. Today we have Stephen Green, founder of Paintless Dent Doctor. How you feeling today, man?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me on.
No problem, man. I appreciate your time. So let's just get right into it. You started your business about 20 years ago, maybe more, and you said you did it in an apprenticeship. So a lot of times people have an apprenticeship, they wait around to for somebody to set them free, show them the way, give them their path. But you decided to do it on your own. So what inspired that? What made you take action and start building your own business?
Really out of necessity. I was working for a large auto retailer. I was fired from that job and kind of forced me into taking building my business more serious. So,
There you go. And
mhm.
because you have a trade, which is so slept on, nobody can take that skill from you. So you can take that and transfer it either to another position or start your own thing. And so, how about
Absolutely.
could you speak about that a bit? Like, what's the benefit of having such the skills that you had and having a trade in today's market, in today's climate?
Like you said, it's transferable. A lot of different places and situations. You really just have to be committed to being a professional in order to be successful in it. But I could take it in the retail sector, wholesale sector, a lot of different avenues to make headway in the industry.
And what is wholesale in your industry like? So if retail is like more like what you're doing now, where customers can pull up,
Exactly.
what is wholesale?
Wholesale would be your dealerships, body shops, which we still do.
Okay.
But we have a holistic approach at Paintless Dent Doctor where we service both the retail side and the wholesale side.
Okay, okay.
Mhm.
And so for people that's wondering, does that look like a contract with a dealership, or they send you a percentage of their vehicles, or they just like hit you up every month like, yo, we got this many, we got like an overflow and we need assistance? How does that look?
There's a contract. It could be weekly at times, or as needed. With body shops, it's not as frequent as the dealership because the dealerships are turning over vehicles constantly. But body shops bring us in on a kind of a la carte basis where they have situations where they have a need for our services.
Oh, awesome. So it's a whole nother stream of revenue. So you can
Yeah,
service
yeah,
the dealerships and other body shops and your own retail service.
absolutely. The body shops essentially sell our work and nobody's the wiser.
Okay, okay. So they
Yeah.
just outsource it to
Hmm.
you, and,
Yep.
and, and you
Yep.
the real plug behind the scenes making it happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Got it, got it. So
Yep.
Paintless Dent Doctor, you have your own place where you do your service, and then you're also mobile as well, right?
We offer mobile services for the paintless dent repair side, but it's limited to specific types of damage. If it's a more
Okay.
involved repair, we have to do it in a controlled environment here in the shop.
Got you, got you. So once you bring in things in house and you have a lot of different moving parts, what are some of the things that run like on autopilot in your business, and then some of the things where you got to personally, you or your team, like y'all got to get in and get busy other than like the actual service on the vehicle? Like what are some other parts that you have to manage?
And we have some systems in place that capture leads, some lead generation software that we use that are attached to the website, and also on our Google pages. So that kind of takes the initial point of contact out of our hands, which is helpful. So
Mm.
that way we can keep moving and working. But then I step in when it comes to the more intricate processes of assessing the damage and then coming up with an estimate. So
Yeah, so I did some research on your
Mm,
business and I saw that and I was like, I
mm,
think my man operating at a high clip right now because I saw the chat
yeah,
bot on
yeah,
your website and
absolutely.
everything goes to a phone number. So I'm like, okay, this means that somebody's getting back to you probably, pretty fast or in a good amount of
Mhm,
time.
yeah.
So what's that process like? Because if a customer wants to know, like, this is why you're successful, not just you're not just giving the game to somebody that's actually like want to do the business, but somebody that
Mhm.
needs to get your service. Like that's just such a great demonstration of what your customer service is like. So if somebody hits that number, what happens for them?
It literally comes to my phone immediately.
Okay.
And we do not sleep on leads. We attack them as soon as they come through the phone. So once that initial point of contact is made, I jump on and I start asking the more specific questions to figure out what your needs are. And then we get an estimate shortly thereafter. And I say at about a 70% clip, they turn into appointments for repair.
Awesome, man. So that's a real high close rate right there, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's something to brag about, man. I like to hear that. I like to hear that. Um, so what's one of the hardest things with working in a trade based business that a lot of people don't really understand or they don't really want to hear? Like if they asking you, they trying to show interest in the business. What's the
Mhm.
hard things they need to know about it?
Uh, it is hard work. Working with your hands is not easy. Um, the paintless side of my business is a more niche service. I'm a master tech in the trade. It takes a lot of years to really hone that skill to get to a level where you're cut above the competition in your area. But it's hard work. You have to stay committed to the process. I think what kind of separates one company or one tech from another is how serious they take being a professional. And
Okay.
that's where you see a drop off in the trade. Some people kind of treat it as a situation where you'll just make a little money here and there, and then they drop off seasonally. But we do this year round. Like I said, we're 20 years in. We've won pretty much every award you can think of in the city of Baltimore, and it kind of stamps what we do.
Congratulations on that. Yeah, I saw you had that on your website too. Listen,
Mm,
somebody gotta let them know. Somebody gotta
yeah,
remind them,
yeah.
right? So I can appreciate that. So what about pricing? Like you said, you're a master tech and the outcomes that you produce could seem like the same outcomes as somebody else, but you may charge something different. So how does pricing work in your industry?
Well, pricing for at least the paint was dent repair side is based on factors attributed to the damage itself.
Hmm.
So it could be size, accessibility, it could be the material of the metal, whether it be steel, aluminum, accessibility on the inside. So there's a learning curve as far as that's concerned. So there are a number of factors that come into play when it comes to pricing. And we kind of take that step by step with the client. And I think that kind of serves both us and the client well, because they understand that it's not just a quick little pop that people initially think it is.
Yeah.
It's a very intricate process. So that kind of anchors the price point that we come up with at
Mhm.
the end because they see how much work it takes to get to that end result.
Got you. Got you. Do you specialize in any certain types of vehicles or processes?
Not particularly. We repair all makes and models from your everyday economy vehicles to luxury and exotics, which we do a lot of as well. So we certainly don't discriminate as it pertains to the vehicle. We do classics as well. If it's made out of metal, we can fix it generally.
I like that.
Yeah, so it's really not a problem for us as it pertains to what kind of vehicle it is. We even do motorcycles. We have an account with Harley Davidson Baltimore. So
Mhm.
we also do bikes as well.
Nice. I like that. I like that. So,
Mhm.
um, let's talk about cars for a little bit. So I had a classic. I had a vintage Mercedes, like a
Mhm.
'81 Mercedes. That joint was like a tank. So I ain't really have any problems with dents. I did with Rust, because it's a really old vehicle. But do
Yeah.
you see a big difference between like older vehicles and say like new luxury cars or exotic cars, or are they still pretty sturdy?
Well, the metal is definitely different. We're talking classics versus what we're driving today,
Mhm.
and it's intentional for a number of reasons. The main reason is weight. They're trying to reduce the weight of the vehicle, and also how much it costs to produce said vehicle. So, what they used to use back in the, say, 60s, 50s, to build a vehicle would not work in today's market price wise.
Okay.
So vehicles are transitioning to alloys and aluminums and a thinner gauge of steel, simply because it's cheaper to produce, and easier to fix. So
That makes sense. Yeah,
yeah,
because that's good for that's good for customers too, right? The price of cars keep going up, but it's still
yeah,
cheaper than what it would be if we all drove like classic
exactly.
American cars and things like
Yeah,
that.
and also reducing weight helps with fuel economy as well. So
Okay.
those tanks of old, we know what the gas mileage was like in those. So
Yeah.
it's a lot different these days due to the weight reduction.
Right. And so as far as the exotic cars, is there anything you're surprised that you worked on, or you was kind of like it was kind of impressive that you actually got to work on something like that?
When I first started, yes,
Hmm.
20 years in, a car is a car to me at this point.
Got you.
There are learning curves, obviously, and it's always a good photo op when you have those luxury and exotics in the shop. But for me, I'm so far into it. It's just a matter of knowing how to access damage,
Hmm.
and then kind of lock in with my expertise at that point. So yeah, right now, car is a car for me.
Got you. So I'm gonna throw you the alley. I'm gonna throw you the alley oop right now because
Hmm.
most of my listeners and guests are entrepreneurs, and so they have access to different types of vehicles, whether it be like rental or like they're being
Hmm.
driven around, or they
Yeah.
like nice cars. So what are some of the most premium cars that you ever had? So they'll know if they got that kind of car, they can bring it to you.
We've done everything from your BMWs to Mercedes to Aston Martins to Bentleys to anything you think of, we have fixed. We kind of catalog them with banners in our shop, which is kind of a cool presentation when
I
people
like that.
come in,
Yeah.
just so they know what we worked on. But yeah, whatever you can think of, we have fixed.
Yeah, that's like a good testimonial, right? It's like
Mhm.
in-house marketing, right? They come in, they get to see
Yeah, yeah,
what the work is like. So that's a
yep.
smart move, man. I like that.
Mhm.
Are you into car culture other than it being your skill?
Not particularly. I do love cars. Um, I've always been a Lexus and BMW guy down through the years. We
Hmm.
do some car shows throughout the year just to showcase our services, to that market. And we get a lot of great results creating that community, with car lovers. But yeah, me myself, just I'm not into the tinkering when it comes to, like, the mechanical side
Okay,
of vehicles, but I do like nice cars. Yeah.
got you. Speaking of community, I know you started the or co-founder of Cars with Cares, right? To give cars to
Yes.
families in need.
Mhm.
So tell me a bit about that because some people may not even see that opportunity is there to help people out. So tell me how that started.
Well, Cars with Care is a nonprofit. We started in 2016. Me and my brother Damon Horn, who owns Total Recon in Laurel,
Mhm.
just got together and wanted to give back using our skill sets. So on my side, it's the exterior reconditioning with paintless dent repair and auto body, and he handles detailing and also interior repair. So we harnessed those skills, along with some other brothers. And since 2016, we've been purchasing, reconditioning, and donating vehicles to families in need. We've done 10 since 2016.
Man, that's 10 families that get to get around a lot more
Yeah.
convenient. So
Yes,
I
sir.
that's awesome. So you do this like once a year? How often do you have it?
And strictly during the holiday season. So we
Okay.
actually give the vehicle away live on Christmas morning. So we either do one or two every year during the Christmas holiday.
And are these families, do you choose them at random or can people like put in for a draw or something like that?
We have a website, carswithcare.org, where people can submit entries.
Mm.
And then we generally do a drawing after each vested business owner picks a nominee. We do a drawing at our fundraising event, which was this past Friday. So we have a winner
Okay.
and we don't disclose them until we pull up to their door on Christmas morning.
Nice. So that's pretty well organized. So you have an event prior to,
Hmm.
you get your winner, and then you show up to the winner's house and get that raw emotion, right? When you pull up on them
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
surprise them. That's pretty touching, man. That's pretty touching. So you have like a
Mhm.
camera crew and stuff like that that comes recorded?
We do. It is documented every year, whether it be our camera crew. We have a lot of news outlets that come and document it as well. So,
That's great. That's great.
mhm,
Um, so over time though, so you said you've been in the game 20 years and you're 100% owner. So you get to own all of the upside, but it's still some downside, some mistakes that you make. So tell me about some
mhm.
of the biggest mistakes that you made so that we can help some other, business owners avoid that.
And for me, it was early on, and thinking that I could just throw dollars at my marketing and expect results. I got caught up in the 6 and 12 month term with the marketing agencies and not really seeing results
Mm-hmm.
until I was able to really buckle down and do some research myself and understood the power of really just listing your business with as many free listing websites as you can, creating backlinks to your website in order to get the results you were looking for. So I do have an agency now, but it is an agency that is closely tied to my industry and really knows our needs. And I never get caught in those contracts that I did early on in my career. So there's a lot you can do yourself in business to avoid some of those pitfalls, with your capital early on.
Yeah, I'm glad you touched on that, right? Because
Mhm.
that's a lot of what I do. Some digital marketing for businesses in different ways, even through the podcast. And there is a lot that people overlook.
Mhm.
And like you said, like for SEO for local businesses, you can do business
Yeah.
listings, and you just sound really well versed in that. Do you recommend that to like some other guys, or do you other guys in the industry who may not know about specifically in the auto industry,
I
who don't know
do.
about the?
Whoever has, I'm an open book when it comes to that. My brother Damon, who owns the company in Laurel, we have a lot of talks about marketing, kind of bounce things off of each other. But like I said, whoever needs insight that I have to give, like I said, I'm always an open book.
See, I knew you'd be a great guest. This is
Yeah.
I knew it was things that you know, and I put it out there early in the game, like, hey, I'm looking for service-based business owners
Mhm.
because one, they need a platform to share more about what they have going on. But somebody like you who's so advanced, you're 20 years in the game, you could probably
Mhm.
help other service-based business owners who are going to be listening, or who eventually they're going to be listening. They're either going to be a guest or they're going to listen.
Right.
And that's super important. What you just said, like being able to understand some of that stuff in house, and then have an agency that understands what your industry is. So they are marketing agencies specifically for almost every industry. So
Mhm.
so thanks for sharing that. And I know you'll be sharing your information. So if anybody start hitting you up and you get an influx of folks, some people may be coming from here.
Mhm.
So I always ask people on the show, at least the last 3 episodes, right? What makes people built different? That's the name of the podcast. That's the theme. And I want to know what you think it is about Paintless Dent Doctor where you're built different. Like the our businesses are an extension of us. So
Mhm.
what part of that, how do you feed that into your business so that you can build it to where you have it now?
I take pride in feeling like that I've built uh, more of a boutique style automotive reconditioning company. We are not your typical kind of grease monkey shop that people expect to see. We are aesthetically pleasing when you walk in. The decorum is as such that makes you feel comfortable spending your money. And of course, the high quality service stamps it all um, once we are complete. So I take great pride in that. Just focusing on operational excellence, really from start to finish,
Hmm.
is what I feel sets us apart.
Yeah, I like that. I like the mindset around it, feeling boutique, because in almost every industry, you have kind of like the budget tier, and then you start to move up, and it's a very
Mhm.
conscious decision. And I've been talking about it a lot lately, so I'm glad you brought it up. But taste, like you have to have good taste. It's a big consideration to the people who do business with you, and
Mhm.
they may never say it, but they always feel it. So, what are some of the things other than like you can break down some of your decor? Like, what is it that you do different from some of the other body shops and dent repair?
It's really just how we present ourselves. Um, from the initial point of contact, like you witnessed, it is technologically advanced, comparable to a lot of other companies. We're responsive. And then once you come through the door, you feel like you're in a place where you can trust that your vehicle is going to be well taken care of. There have been a lot of places I've taken my vehicle, and while they may have expertise, I'm questioning if I want to spend my money there simply because of the aesthetics, how it looks, how it feels, how they maintain the environment. So I take pride in eliminating all questions when it comes to my business, whether it be in the initial point of contact to you coming in my shop and feeling comfortable and warm and
Mm.
feeling like you're in the right place to spend money. So
You sound like somebody that drive a BMW or Lexus.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I can appreciate that, man. I can appreciate that.
yeah, yeah.
So you got the inside track on not just repairing vehicles, but kind of like maintenance, right? Maintaining them, for auto damage, anything. So can you give us a quick 1, 2, 3 guide on some things people overlook, like how they can, keep their cars out of? We want you to get more customers, right? But if there's something that we could do to keep them out of the shop, like what are the things that people overlook so they can protect their vehicles better?
Well, as it pertains to dents, it's not much you can do to prevent that. If somebody opens their car door, it's metal. So if it gets impacted, it's gonna dent.
Hmm.
Um, Now, as far as maintaining your vehicle, there are a lot of products now you can get into, the PPS, um, where there's a film you can get on your vehicle that helps prevent some damage, or can lessen damage. So that's always a good avenue to take. And also the basics, like keeping your car washed, keeping it polished so that, when you're going through the elements, especially here in Maryland, we
Hmm.
experience it
Yeah.
all the elements we get. So just keeping your vehicle clean and polished will prevent a lot of the rusting that we spoke about earlier,
Hmm.
because you have a good protective layer on the vehicle to help prevent that. So those are some basics, that you can kind of run with.
Is there a cleaning schedule you kind of recommend for people? Should they go once a week or
At
once a month?
least, at least bi-weekly. So that's really the recommendation, at least bi-weekly. If you do weekly, then that's great, but bi-weekly at the least, especially during the winter months.
Okay. Yeah. So I absolutely don't follow those directions. I need to do better with that. But in the wintertime, you try to go at this snows and we get like a bunch of salt on the ground. It
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
gets on your car.
And
Um,
it degrades the paint. People don't realize that salt eats away at it.
mm,
So the longer it's on the vehicle, the more susceptible it is to damage.
okay. And real quick, can you, what is a PPF? Like if they go into AutoZone or something, can they just ask for a PPF or they know what that is? Or is it like a,
No, no, well, it's paint protection film. It's actually a
okay,
clear
okay.
film you can get put over the paint of your
Oh,
vehicle. We
okay.
don't do it here in my shop, but it is something you spoke about how you can protect your vehicle. It is a product that protects your vehicle from certain damages like road rash, which is if you're a frequent highway driver, rocks jumping up and chipping your hood and your bumper, that film actually protects your vehicle from that.
Gotcha.
There are also some products that are self-healing, so it can prevent scratching and, other sorts of damage as well. So it's fairly new technology that can certainly protect your vehicle, especially if you have a vehicle that you spend a good amount of money on. It's a good investment.
Okay. So they got to go see the pros to get something like that though.
Yeah, it's definitely not something that a novice will want to take on.
Do they upsell you on that when you get a car from the dealership, or do you kind of, or you have to kind of just be in the know and start to do the research?
Some do. Some offer packages that will have it installed on the vehicle. But oftentimes you have to search for it.
Got you. Got you. So 20 years in the game, man. I keep saying it because it deserves credit, man. A lot of people don't make it,
Mhm.
that first 5 years, like they always say
Right.
about businesses, but driving ain't going out of style, at least not for the next few years, right? We got robo
Mhm.
taxis hitting the
Mhm.
streets soon, but you'll be here
Yeah.
to fix those, right? You'll be here to work on those. So,
Absolutely.
so your
Yeah.
business will still be here. But
Mhm.
do you see yourself expanding in any kind of way? Because once you're a super pro in a certain business, I won't say that there may not be a cap to what you do, but there are a lot of different avenues you can go in because you have the expertise. You get first dibs. You have high cachet in the industry, right? People know that you know how to get things done. You got good
Mhm.
taste. So deal flow might be coming to you. So are there any things you're thinking about as far as expanding?
For us now, the evolution is really just more space.
Okay.
The shop I'm in now is really 3 bays. We can jam 4 in here at times. But that's really the evolution of my business is finding a space to accommodate more vehicles in the shop at a time,
Got you.
which would then allow me to expand my services as well, which I've done over the years. But really, the evolution is more space, being able to dedicate a clean bay that would open up for other services like PPF.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so right now, the space I'm in really doesn't lend itself to certain processes. So that'll be the evolution for Paintless Dent Doctor, is being a more all-inclusive exterior reconditioning company where we can provide those other things like paint protection film and other resources.
I like that. So you just take your time and just stack each skill, each service
Yeah,
on
yeah.
top. Do you offer apprenticeship, or have you ever thought about doing like bringing in apprentices for your business now, or do you just hire people who are already certified?
Now hiring, they're already certified, but we also do a program here once every summer where we bring in the youth and we just offer a free apprenticeship just to see, their level of interest
Hmm.
in the trade, and we really just pour into them as much as they're willing to receive. We do that once a year.
Nice. What's the age range? Because they got to be a little bit. They need some level of strength, right, to deal with some of the equipment and things.
Yeah, yeah. Most of them are in high school, headed to college.
Okay. And
Mhm.
do you collaborate with our schools to bring those students in, or you kind of got good, strong promotion behind it just on your own?
I've done some stuff with Virgo, with them being a trade school.
Hmm.
But most of the gentlemen that have come in the shop, it's been word of mouth, social media connections, people from city, people from
Hmm.
college, and also, people just kind of seeing the work we do, seeing how we're active in the community, and reaching out to seeing if we could help, whether it be their son, daughter, brother, cousin, or whoever. Yeah, so social media is a powerful tool in that regard, connecting people in that way.
Nice, nice. That's great because again, we talked about in the beginning of the episode, but people sleep on having trade skills, right? Marvo is not going out of style. They one of the schools that lasted in Baltimore, right? They didn't have to flip
Mhm.
that school into something different, so they're still uh, teaching the trades, and so and that there's a pipeline and they can see an actual future, right? And you are a reflection of that. You're not just and it appears that you would be somebody they can aspire to be like because you
Mhm.
actually own it, right? You show up in
Right.
front of your business. You're here on this podcast with me. I appreciate that. A lot of people don't want to talk about that. Like, yes, I have a trade. This is me. This is my business. So I think what you're doing is great. I really appreciate it. Let everybody know where they can find you and acquire your services if they need to.
You can search us online at Paintless Dent Doctor. The website is paintlessdentdoctor.com, on all social media platforms, and it is Paintless Dent Doctor as well. So we're not hard to find. Search us online. We'll pop up. You can search for the resources and services we provide, whether it be paintless dent repair, bumper repair, auto body refinishing. We do everything that is an exterior reconditioning service, all here at Paintless Dent Doctor.
Nice. And just in case you're watching this, my man has 4.9 out of 5 stars and over 300 reviews. So it's not a freak.
Absolutely.
Okay. When you go find
Absolutely.
him online, it's super legit. It's super real. And that's why, I've been following him and staying tapped in for as long as I have. So, Steven, thanks a lot for your time, man. I really, really appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Thanks a lot.